Greetings, everyone. This is Payment Learners, your host, your friend, your coach. Today, we're kicking off day 2 of the November class for the 5-day Profitable Podcast Lead Challenge, Launch Challenge. And today, there's a class for the US, Canada. And it's going to be a very good one today because today we're going to be talking about the one thing that's going to be the foundation of your, not just podcast, but your business. And by podcast, I mean profitable podcast. Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
And when I change screen, do you still see it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So today we're going to be talking about your zone of genius. That's going to be the most essential aspect of everything we're going to be doing from now on, because everything, your business, your offer, your messaging, your podcast, YouTube channel, everything we're going to be doing from today onward is going to be based and built and aligned around your zone of genius. And we'll cover that. And then that's going to allow us to see what is going to be your ideal listener's avatar, and ultimately, what is your podcast going to be about? So before we start, we have a couple of new people here. Well, not new people, but give us a 30-second intro, starting with you, Rosemary.
So I am in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. And I have known Payman for, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many years. It's a few years. And
45 years before BC, you know? Nah, but anyways, yeah.
Not quite that old. And I've gone through his 5-day challenge a couple of times and his academy. And I have launched 10 podcasts. I started this year.
Wow.
And I'm the owner of the Riva Experience, which is reflect, explore, visualize, and align. And I use my podcast to spread the message and help others.
Beautiful.
So thank you, Payman, for your help.
Pleasure's all mine. Always happy to have you and always cheering for you, my friend. You're amazing.
Yeah, I'm here to support Payman.
That's what I do. Happy to hear that. Sandra, give us a little intro about you.
I'm next, okay?
Yes.
Where do we start? My name is Sandra Hyatt. I've known Payman a number of years, maybe not as long as BC, but our spirits connected.
Yes.
Right. And I actually started a nonprofit, incorporated, and my vision, my determination is to revitalize come 2026. And yes, Payman invited me, and I accepted the invitation to reconnect with this group because I want to have a means of spreading the word that we want to start back in this.
Beautiful. Happy to have you here with us as always, Sandra. I'm mega cheering for you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Eleonora, give us a quick 30-second intro for the people that don't know you.
Hi, I'm Eleonora from Vancouver Island, Canada, and I specialize in emotional intelligence to help people embody their truth in life, in love, and in business.
Wow, that was short, sweet, to the point. I love that. You're ready to go, my friend.
15 seconds.
Exactly. Wow. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Do you have any questions from yesterday, especially because you were the only one here yesterday? Lauren is not here. Eleonora, any questions about anything I covered yesterday?
No, it was loud and clear.
All right, cool. Awesome to hear that. Also, because you're a pretty smart cookie. You're a fast learner. So that helps also.
Yeah, thank you.
Very welcome. All right, let's get going. So what we're going to be looking at this entire week, and especially today, that's what's going to lead the path for you to getting leads on demand and high-ticket clients to your very own profitable podcast. What we're going to be doing. Do you guys remember this graph I shared with you guys yesterday? Our podcasting is absolutely booming. This year alone, over $50 billion of business is going to be done through podcasting. And through podcasting, I mean two people connecting on a podcast and deciding to do business. As I just mentioned to you before going live, Eleonora, nowadays I only do business with people I met on my podcast, not just from my clients, but also people that that are part of my dream team, people that I use, for example, that I partner with, rather, my publisher, my marketing guy, my copywriting guy, my PR lady, everyone I work with, I met through podcasts. That's what I mean. And this is only booming. Now, there is an even bigger thing that's going to blow your mind, guys. Let me show you here. I want you guys to read this out loud. Unmute yourself for 1 second and read it out loud.
1 billion a day.
1 billion what?
$1 billion a day.
That's it.
A day.
Now, what do you
$1
guys
billion.
think that? What do you think, guys, that represents?
Power and control.
Now, of course, but beyond that, of course. Maybe for some of you, for some of us, it's just daily spending money. You know what I mean? Now,
Freedom.
no, exactly. But jokes aside, what this represents is the amount of money people around us, around you, are quietly spending, or rather investing and solving one very specific problem they're having by hiring a coach, a mentor, a guide, investing in a mentorship, membership, whatever, to help solve one tiny problem that they have. Not a very specific problem they have. And the good news is this amount, this figure, is from a year ago. As we all know, the e-learning industry and the self and coaching industry has been absolutely booming. So as of today, we're almost at the end of 2025. Christmas just around the corner. This figure is probably 1.5, if not $2 billion a day. That's a staggering number. Now the question is, okay, Angela is here. Okay, beautiful. Now the question is, what can me and you and every one of us in this room do to get our fair share of this humongous and oh so delicious pie? Raise your hand if you want to get a piece of this pie, your piece of this pie yourself. Raise your hand.
Of course.
Well, if I could, I would raise my feet as well, but I don't want to fall off my chair. You know what I mean? So even if you were to get a fraction of that, even if you were to get $1,000 a day, that's $30,000 a month. Even 500, that's 15,000. Heck, even $100 a day, that would be $3,000 a month. What would $3,000 a month do to you? It's going to more than likely pay your mortgage. For someone like me who's traveling, living around the world, it would allow me to live a very comfortable lifestyle. Now, here's a question. As I mentioned, that's the amount of money that people are spending, or rather investing, to solve a specific problem. And as I mentioned, to get our piece of this pie, we need to answer one question. What is one very specific pain point that you Sandra, you Eleonora, you Rosemary, you Lorna, you Angela, and anyone else going to be listening to this after can solve, and for who specifically? Solve that question and you get your share of this humongous amount of money. Very simple. I'm not kidding. Now, the big question is, how do we achieve that? We achieve that by simply addressing these 4 key questions. Number 1, what's your primary core expertise and skill set? In other words, what's your zone of genius? And that's what we're going to be doing today. Once you know what's your zone of genius, that's going to tell you in a very logical way, what is the main pain point that you are the best person, qualified, equipped, and experienced to solve, and for who? Through your offer, your program, your business, your podcast, YouTube channel, everything you do. And then once we know that, what is the dream outcome for your client? And least, but not definitely last, is how do we find them to get your message towards them? And that's what all of that we're going to be covering this entire week. So do you guys see how all of this is linked? It goes back to one question. And that question is, what is one specific pain point that you can solve, and for who specifically? You don't need to solve all of the issues for everyone. And that's a number one mistake most coaches make. No, one pain point, one person. You do that, you're golden. Does it make sense? Sandra, Eleonora, Rosemary, Angela? Okay, perfect. Now, let me ask you guys a question. What's the number one reason that most coaches, entrepreneurs online, struggle to get any traction, whether that is getting leads or clients for the businesses? Give it a guess. Let's start with
No audience.
yes, but even before that, you're on the right track. I love that.
They're too varied.
Yes, yes. Now we're getting somewhere. Thank you, Angela. Eleonora.
Well, they're not getting attention because they're not targeting the problem. They don't know how to which problem to solve.
Absolutely. We're getting somewhere. Rosemary.
They haven't figured out their one thing, their one niche, and their one target.
Yes, all of you guys, what you said is absolutely true. And they all lead to that thing because they lack clarity.
Okay.
They want to help everyone with all the issues. Please do not make this mistake of wanting to solve all of the problems for everybody. Yes, that comes from a good perspective. We all have a good hearts. Most people do. But if you want to win in business, people want to work with specialists, not generalists. So be specialist at something very specific, and that's where you're gonna really stand out, change lives, and be handsomely rewarded. So that's what we're gonna do. We need to have crystal clear, laser focused clarity, because clarity is the name of the game. I want you guys to memorize this. Clarity is the name of the game. Because once you have that clarity, you know very, very well, all you have to do is just this. What one very specific pain point can you solve, and for what one specific person? And I'm going to share with you guys today and the rest of the week a very simple and effective game plan and blueprint to achieve that for each of us. And for each of us, that's going to be different because we all have had different paths, different lives, different challenges we have to overcome, and different skill sets. So again, this is the key. Clarity, clarity, clarity. Because the more clarity you have in your message and offer, the more your message is going to be magnetic, the more your offer will be compelling, and the more your program will be transformational. And as a result, the more your business will be profitable. Do you see how everything ties in, how everything works? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome, cool. Now, how do we achieve that? Very simple. By identifying and focusing on one thing and one thing only. And that is identifying what is your guys' zone of genius. Now, when I say the word zone of genius, what does that mean to you? One sentence. Let's start with you, Eleonora.
Apart from clarity is execution.
Yes, but what I'm asking is, what does zone of genius mean to you?
I think I'll leave it blank for now.
No problem. Sandra?
Working in the area that you're best fitted.
Yes, we're getting somewhere. Rosemary?
It's your area of expertise.
Bingo. Thank you. Angela, do you want to add something to that?
No, I was going to say the area that you are best qualified in. So area of expertise.
Exactly. Now, I will share with you guys some 4 or 5 ways to identify your zone of genius. And of course, for each of us, going to be different. The first and obvious way to start, is look at your professional background and experiences. If you spend any amount of time in any industry, 10, 15, 20 years, then of course, that's an obvious choice to start because you understand the industry intimately, you speak the language, you've lived it, you walk the path, you know the daily struggles and pain point of that person. So do not discard your experience. Okay. The second way is if you have any high income skill that you have acquired in the process in your career, in your journey. What is a high income skill? High income skill is something that someone has paid you or paying you a lot of money for. And those skills can be sales, negotiation, copywriting, design, coding, anything like that. If you have any such talent, any such high income skill, then that's a fabulous way to build a very successful, profitable, and impactful business. The next one is if you have been born with any God-given, natural, innate talent. Some people are amazing with numbers. With memory, with words, with singing, dancing, music, painting, sports, whatever. Even some people have built very successful businesses with just the skills they have learned. For example, tutoring students, helping someone craft a winning resume, or someone pass the entrance to say med school or law school or business school. These are things people will pay a good amount of money for. So if you have any such talent, you can build a very successful business around those. The next one is probably my favorite, and that's what we're going to mostly focus on, and that is any major life challenges that you may have overcome. Basically, your hero's journey. We all have had our fair share of pain, trauma, abuse, tragedy, divorce, disease, betrayal, heartbreak, struggle, and so on and so on. Yes, those were very painful, heartbreaking, even tragic when we went through those. But guess what? Those become your story. And then your story becomes your gifts. And now your gifts are your duty and responsibility to share them with others. And some of the best business, most impactful, most fulfilling, and most profitable business to build is where you simply guide, help, and inspire and help others that are going through what you personally successfully overcome. So look at your life. Don't discard anything. The more painful, the more heartbreaking, the more tragic was something that you had to overcome, the greatest the gift, the greatest the impact, the greatest the transformation, and the more the people that are currently going through that will pay you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So if you were to look at these 4 ways to identify your zone of genius, which one do you think applies the most to you when it comes to identifying your zone of genius? Let's start with you, Sandra.
Oh, Lord, the last one.
Yes, major life challenges. Yes, awesome. And we're going to dive deeper into that in a moment. What about you, Lenora?
All of it.
All of them? But if you had to choose one?
I would choose the last one.
Okay. Rosemary?
Definitely the last.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Angela?
You know what? I was looking at it and I was listening and I got caught with something else. Technically all of them, but I'm kind of caught between 2 of them because my experience personal wise and then my pain point as well.
Absolutely. Yes. You can definitely combine them. Absolutely. Now, there's a couple of other ways as well to identify that. Zone of genius. I'm going to share that with you now. The next one is, what is one thing that you really love geeking about? What is one thing that you're really known about in your circle as the expert, the go-to person? For example, me, when I was in high school and university, I was known as Mr. Brazil because I was obsessed with Brazil. So anyone who had any question, they would come to me. And that was before social media. Of course, now it's a different story. I don't want to turn that into a business because with YouTube, Google, everyone can have all that information for free. So again, what is one thing that you're really good at? What is one thing that you're really known for? What is one thing that in your circle? What is one thing that you love geeking about? Those can be an amazing way to build a business. Let's say, for example, you make an amazing, I don't know, strawberry pie, for example. I'm not saying go ahead and start a bakery, but you can teach people online how to do it. Or if you want to, start a bakery, by all means, if that's your passion. Find what is one thing that really would get you out of bed in the morning without an alarm clock, and that would work 80 hours a week, even for free, out of pure passion. That's what I'm saying. Another way also, it's not here on the slide, but I'll share with you guys, is imagine that I'm hosting an event, a conference tomorrow, and one of my speakers bails on me at the last minute, and I'm frantically panicking, and I reach out to you guys, hey, Sandra, Eleonora, Angela, Rosemary, Lorna, I need you to come and literally save my butt. I want you to come and replace that person, do a talk. What can you talk about for 30 to 60 minutes on with no preparation? Or in a shorter way, what can you do today, right now, a TED Talk on, in a way that's going to leave the audience blown away? That's a phenomenal way to identify your zone of genius. Does it make sense? So, of those 5, 6 ways I shared with you, which one is the one that really speaks the most to you? Who wants to go first? I'm looking at you, Angela, in your corner.
I'm actually laughing because
Hmm.
that happened to me a couple of days ago.
Okay.
We had a major speaker that was supposed to speak for Halloween, and she bailed at the last minute. And the hostess asked me if I would go ahead and do a presentation, but it's not on anything that you guys even have heard about yet. So it's because I am a jack of many, many trades.
Okay. Anyone else wants to share something? Go ahead, Rosemary.
The same thing happened to me today.
Wow.
I got out of the shower and I see a message. Can you do a join on the panel in 45 minutes? So 45 minutes. I got dressed, put the makeup on, and left my hair wet, and went on and spoke about abundance.
Beautiful. Love that. Eleonora, Sandra, you guys want to add something?
For me, it's a little bit different today. It's most of my days. I was just doing multitasking on my blockchain. I have different blockchain teams, so it's just my zone of genius ability to multitask and leading my team to grow financial independence. Yeah.
Beautiful. Love that. Sandra?
Yeah, what I was saying, I didn't unmute. What I was saying is I would still stick to the last one on the list there, because I am not I can speak, but I'm not passionate about speaking, right? But I resonate most with the challenges, because life is still lifing.
Absolutely. And for most of us, that's going to be where our true goal is. Because again, we've all had some very difficult challenges to overcome. We're all survivors.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is what we are here for, to find your gift and turn your gift into a beautiful, impactful business that's going to very handsomely reward you as well. All right, let's move on. So here's my personal proven 4-step approach to a profitable business and podcast. Number 1, identify your true zone of genius, your true gifts. That's going to provide you with the ultimate clarity as to what is that one specific pain point that you can address and solve better than anyone, and for who specifically. And the next step is, once you know who's that person, what's the pain point you're solving, then it's going to become obvious for you to find out where is that person hanging out. And we simply invite them onto our podcast, because what we're doing, we are interviewing not random people, but our prospect, our future client. That's what we're doing. That's the key. Now, as I said before, you guys have heard me say that before. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt soon. And that is, your crap is your gold, literally. Or in a more PC way, your message is your message. Because again, nothing happens to you, but for you. Even the most heartbreaking, the most tragic event that you may have faced if you look at it and ask yourself these two powerful questions, what was that trying to teach me? What was the lesson for me to learn to that? And the third one I realized not long ago, what was that trying to tell me? They will all lead you to the amazing gift that it was, even the most heartbreaking, the most tragic event that you may have overcome. If you look at them from the perspective of these three questions, you will see for what they are, the true beautiful blessing. And those blessings, because again, we go to challenges ourselves to become better, wise, and all that. And then we take those gifts, those wisdom, those lessons, and share them with the people that are currently going through that. Basically, the person that's just a few steps behind you, the version of you. That's what we're going to be doing. Now, speaking of the person that we can help at the highest level, your avatar ideally is someone who resembles you as much as possible, who looks like you as much as possible, who can resonate with you, identify with you. But ultimately, your avatar is no one else than yourself. One of the biggest breakthrough for me first, and then for my student, was for me to realize that you are your avatar to build your business, build your offer, build your program, build your podcast, your YouTube channel, whatever you do for yourself. And that's not being selfish. Build it the way you wished existed when you were starting, when you were at the lowest point. Because that's a person that you can help the most. Why? Because that's a person that you understand the best, because you literally lived in those shoes. You know that. We don't have time here to invest 10 years to learn about a new thing. And that's why I never resonated with the typical mainstream way of identifying an avatar, and that is create or rather invent a fictional character, because I could not resonate with that. For example, your avatar is Mary from HR, makes $85,000 a year, drives a Honda Civic or whatever, and every morning at 7:24 a.m. on the dot, she drinks a green matcha latte, whatever that's called. Or John from finance, that's makes $85K a year, drives a BMW and as a golden retriever, and every night at 6 o'clock he goes to the gym. No, because that was not me, and that's not you. Instead, the person that we all and each of us know best, guess what, is us. Look at where you were when you were starting on your journey, where you were when you were at the lowest, and build everything for that person. What did you wish was available back then? Who did you wish was there? And say, hold my hand as a big brother, big sister. I've been in your shoes, and together we can get you out of there as long as you follow my direction and my leads. That's the ultimate approach. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
So again, you are your avatar. Build your business, build your offer, build your program, your messaging, your copywriting, everything you do, your podcast, YouTube channel, for yourself. Because you're the person that you know the best, and you're the person that you can understand the best. Because ultimately, as I mentioned, when someone is looking to hire a coach, a mentor, a guide, or my favorite word, an activator, they're not looking for a disconnected billionaire. What they want is someone they can resonate with, relate with, identify with, they can see themselves in, but most importantly, someone that is just a few steps ahead of them, someone that just recently overcome what they're currently going through. That's what people want. Does it make sense? All right, I just mentioned all of that. And again, the more specific you are, the better, the more it's going to resonate, speak to the person that you're helping. Again, clarity, clarity, clarity. Don't try to be vague. And by the end of this week, you guys will have crystal clear clarity that you will never, ever, when someone asks you, what do you do when you introduce yourself in a call online or even in person, and you're going to say, I help people. No, we're not helping people. We're helping a very specific person with one very specific pain point. If you can achieve that, you will be golden. Now that we've set the foundation for identifying a zone of genius, let's brainstorm quickly to identify what is your profitable podcast and business is going to be about. Let's take And again, it's going to be based around one thing and one thing only, your zone of genius. So here's an exercise I will give you guys. This is an exercise I gave from my student academy, but because it's so powerful, I will give it for you as well because I want to really help you guys. Today, later today, tonight, or tomorrow, set aside a few minutes, take a piece of paper, a blank sheet of paper, draw a few columns. Each column represents one painful chapter of your life. And you don't have to write an essay, just one or two keywords for each column. And at the bottom, draw a line and put those three questions. What was that trying to teach me? What was the lesson for me to learn to that? And what was that trying to tell me? Fill this piece of paper. Once it's filled, stare at it. See which one triggers you the most, which one evokes the most visceral reaction in you. The more painful, guess what? The more it triggers you, the bigger the gift. Because again, the more tragic, the more heartbreaking was something that you personally had to overcome, the bigger the transformation is going to be for the person who's going through it right now. Because remember, people will pay you the big money for two things: transformation and speed. Help me solve my painful problem fast when I can do it. I will throw money at you and say, shut up and take my money. Does that make sense? So please do this exercise on your own and feel free to share it in the WhatsApp group, because the more you do these exercises, the more clarity you will have, because what we're doing here is way deeper than just launching a little podcast. We're going to go deep to really identify what is your zone of genius, and ultimately, your zone of genius is going to lead you to identifying what is your true purpose in life. And once your zone of genius and purpose are aligned, that's when you become the best version, the version you're meant to be. Does it make sense? So please, please, please do this exercise and feel free to share the findings on the WhatsApp group. Okay? Now, let's move on. Here's some powerful reminders. I already mentioned some of them. Do not sell your time or your knowledge, because there's always a ceiling how much you can charge, and information can be obtained for free. Do not make your business transactional. Make it transformational. And through your business, offer transformation. How do you offer transformation? By simply helping the person that's currently going through what you successfully overcame. That's how you make your offer transformational. Because again, the more heartbreaking, the more painful, the more tragic was what you had to overcome, the more transformational it's going to be for the person that's going through it. Nobody's going to pay you $5,000, $10,000 just for some information. But transformation, oh, hell yeah. Sandra, we both know Jay, right? Our coach.
Yeah.
Jay has a one-on-one coaching program, VIP, for 3 months, 1 call a week. Last time I talked to him, a year ago, he was charging $75,000. And he has a waiting list. He doesn't advertise it. He has a waiting list. Why? Because he's transforming people's businesses. He helps people 5 to 10x their sales. Again, people will pay you ungodly amount of money for transformation. And this is why when I told you earlier before going live, Eleonora, that $497 is way too low.
So
You know?
level up to 3K.
Oh, 3K. I would say even 5K, and within a year, 10K. Because again, transformation. That's something that we're going to work together this week and beyond to really help you put together a package that's going to be irresistible. Something that's going to be literally transforming lives. One of the ladies that is an alumni of the Academy, some of you may know her, Louisa. You remember her, Rosemary? Louisa Moroni from Toronto. Wonderful Italian-Canadian woman. Like every Italian, she can breathe, she can live without pasta, pizza, and all those delicious things. And because of that diet, when she turned 50, she was way overweight. She had a very advanced type 2 diabetes, and she had to take 19 medicines, pills each morning, even before getting out of bed. The doctor told her, hey, listen, if you don't change anything, within 5 years, it will be gone. So what she had to do, she had to drastically change her diet. Asking an Italian to cut off pizza, pasta, bakery, and stuff like that, you might as well just tell them to kill themselves. They can't function. But she had to do it. And by doing so, she got herself off medication. She reversed her type 2 diabetes, and she lost 150 pounds in a year. She went from, as a 50-year-old lady, walking with a cane, barely mobile, to now literally modeling and singing. So she saved her life first. Then guess what? She did the same thing for her husband. Same family, same background, same diet, same result. So she saved two people's lives, herself and her husband. Now she has a very successful business helping people reverse type 2 diabetes, get off medication. Last time I talked to her, she was charging $2,000 a month, minimum 6 months, so $12,000. And people lining up. Why? Because she's literally not only transforming, but saving lives, saving families. What is the impact of someone dying prematurely because of type 2 diabetes? It destroys families. So that's what I'm saying. Transformation. The bigger the transformation you offer, the more people will pay you without even questioning you, without even blinking. Let's say, for example, God forbid, one of you had type 2 diabetes and we're told you had less than 3 years to live. And someone comes to you and say, my program is $10,000. Even if you don't have the money, you would do whatever you can to get access to that money. You would sell your car, you would take a loan, whatever. You would do it, right? To save your life, to save your family. So that's what I'm talking. Get to that place. Offer transformation. The bigger the transformation, the more people will pay you. So again, to summarize, your business is not transactional. I don't want you to ever charge per hour or per project. Offer transformation. Some other people call it focus on outcomes, focus on results. Yes, but even more important, more deeper, more powerful than results and outcomes is transformation. That's where people can really pay the big money, like Jay, $75,000 for 3 months, 1 call a week. Why? Because it helps you 5x and 10x your sales. So again, next in line is business. It's not a numbers game. Sure, numbers matter, but ultimately it's a relationship nurturing process. And even more so when you're selling anything over $1,000 or pounds or euros, it's about one thing and one thing only: trust. How do you build that trust? By building rapport. How do you build that rapport? By simply having a heart-to-heart conversation. And the best way to do so is this, a podcast. As I mentioned earlier, the next point here is when someone is looking to invest a few $1,000s in a person and a coach and a mentor, guide, activator, big brother, big sister, they're not looking for a disconnected billionaire. They want someone just a few steps ahead of them. Someone they can relate with, identify with, resonate with, someone they can see themselves as. And so again, and someone that is accessible, reachable. And the best person for that is, for each of us to help, is just the version of you of just a few steps ago. Build your business, build your message, build everything. This is probably the biggest takeaway for me and for you guys. Build your business for you, for the version of you that was at the lowest. Build it the way you wished existed when you were starting. What did you wish was there? Who did you wish was there? And tell you, hold my hand. I've been in your shoes, and together we can get you out as long as you can follow my direction, my lead. That's the biggest takeaway, guys. You are your avatar, not some fictional character. Does it make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Eleonora? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Here's some more. Never put yourself in a position to ask, beg, or chase. Instead, invite. Let me repeat that. Never put yourself in a position to ask, beg, or chase. Instead, invite. That applies to everything, not just business, even your family, your kids, your spouse, your neighbor, your friends, your colleagues. Try that with them. Instead of asking, invite them and see how it turns the table around in your benefit. So again, to summarize, our approach is very simple. 4-step process. Identify your zone of genius. I give you guys the blueprint to do so. Once you have your zone of genius, you will know what is that one specific pain point that you can solve for who. And then once you know that person, then you will know where is that person hanging out. And you simply invite them onto your podcast. Very simple and deadly effective. This works. This is the exact same method that allowed me to go from 0 to 100 high-ticket clients with a YouTube channel of less than 200 subscribers. It's not about the numbers. You don't have to wait to get 10,000 subscribers to make your first dollar. You just need to be in front of the right 10 people. I've even made thousands of dollars with just 5 people on the call. The right people. It's not about numbers. We're not concerned about vanity metrics, subscribers, none of that stuff. All we focused on is you want to win on podcast and YouTube. Very simple. Have a crystal clear, laser focus, clarity. What is the pain point you're solving and for who? Because again, clarity is the name of the game. Don't create content for everybody. Don't talk about every topic under the sun. No, instead, what is that one thing that you're the best qualified, equipped, and experienced to talk about? And that's one thing that you yourself, basically, is zone of genius. So again, please do the exercises that I gave you, because these will literally open your eyes to who you truly are. What's your true purpose in this life? We are doing way bigger than just launching a stupid little podcast. Sorry for my language. But this is what we're doing. It ultimately leads you to finding, once you have your zone of genius, you will know your purpose and ultimately why you're here for in this lifetime. Does that make sense? Awesome. So that's it for today. Pretty short, pretty sweet, but incredibly powerful, because today is the foundation of everything we're going to be doing. Your zone of genius is going to be the central foundation of everything in your business, not just your business, even in your life, because that's going to give you the compass, the direction that we all need. Here's a sneak peek into tomorrow. Please do the exercises that I gave you, because tomorrow we're going to be taking the findings from today and we're going to be literally live crafting your irresistible high-ticket Godfather offer. And it's going to be based and built and aligned around one thing. Can you guys guess what that is? Unmute yourself, please.
Clarity.
Yes, but more than that.
The ideal client, the person who you're serving.
Yes, but how do you identify that?
Their pain point.
I think, Angela, you had it.
I said the pain point.
And yes, these are all correct answers. Yes. Angela, I could read it from your lips. Say it. Unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself. I can't hear you. All right, what you're saying is zone of genius.
I was saying zone of genius. I was trying to get the mute to unmute, and it kept on going back under retrograde Venus or retrograde Mercury. Gotta love it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So guys, please do that, because that is going to be the central point of everything we're going to be doing moving forward. We're going to be building your offer live together, and it's going to be built around the one pain point that you can address, and that's going to be on the zone of genius. I'm also going to be introducing you guys to another very, very, very powerful principle of business. If your business doesn't have that, you don't have a business, and that is having a quantifiable, measurable end result. Again, quantifiable, measurable end result. Your offer must, that's a non-negotiable. If your business doesn't have a QMER, you don't have a business. Simple as that. And I will cover that in detail tomorrow. So be there. Any questions about what I covered today? Question, comments, compliments with my shiny hair?
I have a question.
Go ahead, please. Yeah.
Quickly. So if I charge 5K and then they look at my YouTube, I only have 70 subscribers, and they ask me what's included in 5K? How are you gonna promote my story? What do I say when when I just started?
Great question. First of all, it's not about the numbers because my channel is still very small, 1,525 subscribers. I'm lucky if I get 50 views per video. What you can tell them, again, it's about how big of a transformation you bring to that person. It's not about your time. It's not about your knowledge. It's not transactional. It's transformational. And that's what we're going to be doing all week long, especially tomorrow, because we're going to be taking your findings from today's call. Please do the homework. Tomorrow, we're going to be crafting your offer so that when that person sees your offer, when they see your price tag of $5,000, they will be, oh, wow, what's the next step? How do we start? As opposed to what's in it for me? What do you include? So we're going to cover all of that tomorrow. But to answer your question in a very short way, the bigger the transformation you offer, the more you can charge. And one of the best ways to show that is to testimonials. Testimonials. And that's something
I have testimonials.
good.
A lot.
Good.
Yeah.
Especially the type of testimonial that I want you guys to have is video testimonials. Video. Short, 60. So here's a tip I will give you that's beyond the scope of this. I cover that in detail inside the Academy, but I'll give it to you here.
Okay.
At the end of each call, when you get on a call with a prospect, a client, or someone you just talked to, as long as you've been helpful and you help them, don't be shy. Ask them, hey, Mary, hey, John, would you mind with a quick 60-second testimony how this call has been helpful? And just become a collector of testimonials. The more testimonials you have, the more you can convey, hey, you know what you're doing. Testimonials. If you go on my website is full of testimonials. On top, there is a headline, a picture of me. I'm going to put a video soon. And then nothing but testimonials. And at the bottom, just one question. Are you ready to be next? If yes, book a call. So for my website is to get them to not to join my academy directly, but to sign up for the free challenge. Say, are you ready to sign up for the free challenge? Just fill the form here. So again, I want you guys to become a collector of testimonials. When I meet people, when they ask me, hey, Payman, nice to meet you, what do you do? My answer is not that I am a podcaster, a coach, a mentor, a speaker, an author. No, my answer is I'm a collector. What do you collect? I collect success stories, testimonials. What does that mean? Well, my business is all about making sure my clients win. What does that mean? You get them really invested, really intrigued. As opposed to I'm a coach. If you say I'm a coach, I'm an accountant, I'm whatever, they box you right away and they can't wait to end the conversation. Instead, what we want is to open the door for real, meaningful conversations. And you do that in a way, that's another thing I will share with you guys. When someone asks you what you do, don't answer based on the title. Emphasize your answer on the impact. How are you changing lives? How are you transforming lives or saving families? Not, I'm an accountant. If you're a financial advisor, for example, say, I help my clients sleep better at night, sleep with peace. What does that mean? Well, I make sure that should anything happen to them, they'll be taken care of financially. See the difference as opposed to, hey, I sell life insurance. Oh, you sell, oh, thank you, nice to meet you. I got to go to the bathroom. Can't wait to end the conversation. As opposed to, how are you making your clients sleep better, soundly and peacefully at night? To make sure that they're taken care of financially, should anything happen to them. So emphasize on the transformation and everything you do from now on. not a title. Does it make sense? So, Eleonora, to answer your question again, you want to focus on the transformation, on how you're transforming lives, how you're saving families. That's when people will pay you the $5,000, $10,000 without even blinking. And what we're going to be doing tomorrow is to build you or at least give you the blueprint to build your offer in such a way, in such a clear way, that the next question in the mind is, wow, that's amazing. What's the next step? How do we start? As opposed to, wait, what is that? How? Doing what? Because that's the reaction most people get when they see most people's offers, because they're so vague. They lack clarity. And again, clarity, clarity, clarity. That's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Very welcome. Did I answer your question?
I'll ask more tomorrow. I had lots
Okay.
of questions. I
Beautiful.
think Rosemary has a question there.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rosemary.
So I just had I'm going to say a revelation. If you can go back to, I think it was your screen 25.
Oh, wow. You took note of the numbers. That's amazing.
No,
Maybe it can be my view next time.
At the bottom.
No, just joking. Which one's 25? Tell me.
Nope. Go back to towards the end.
Towards the end. Okay.
Slow. No, okay, I think it was that other one.
This one?
Yeah. So when you say here, now all the times that I've been going through the 5-day challenge, the academy, where you say invite them on your podcast, I'm thinking a podcast guest. But I think what you're talking about is inviting somebody to be a subscriber.
Niet. 999. But that's a great question.
Because that's what I was. Now the other way I was focusing on inviting guests on my podcast.
So here's how we're going to leverage our podcast to get clients. Once we have that clarity, what is your zone of genius? What is a pain point you can solve and through? We simply reach out to these people and invite them to be a guest on our podcast, because what our podcast will do, remember what I said? iTicket selling is all about trust. What's the best way to build that trust? By building rapport. How do you build rapport? By having heart-to-heart conversations. And the best way is simply having a conversation on a podcast. So the first step from turning someone from a complete stranger into a client is to build that trust first. And the way to build that trust by simply inviting them on a podcast, to get to know them, to build that trust, to know them and for them to know you. Because once they know you and you have the trust, it's infinitely easier for them to be open to doing business with you than someone that doesn't know you. So this is the process.
So
does that make sense?
So I had it right in the beginning, because I was looking to invite the guests, but now I'm looking at this and thinking, okay, well, why would I invite them on my podcast? Are we looking to build the subscriber list? But it's not in the numbers of how many subscribers.
No.
It's in the guests and creating that zone of genius.
That's it. Your zone of genius is gonna tell you in a very logical way who's the best person for you that you can help, and then you simply invite that person onto your podcast.
And then the listeners, whoever is listening,
Yes.
could be a potential pod.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because again, it's all
See,
about clarity.
I had it right all along, and today I got confused.
Because we overthink, we confuse ourselves. Don't try to overthink yourself. Just trust the process step by step. Step one.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Zone of genius. What pain point you can solve for who? Where is that person hanging out? And you simply invite them. Game over. This is, of course, a very oversimplified, summary of it, but that's how it goes. Does that make sense?
Yes. So Payman.
Yeah.
So Payman, you said on WhatsApp is where you have the recording, and
I will message you on Messenger right after this call. send me, actually I can, yeah, I will message you directly, Sandra, after this call on Messenger. I'll give you my WhatsApp. Send me your WhatsApp and I'll add you in the group, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
But what's
I
up is the
just
same.
realized I'm not going to be here tomorrow night because I have to do a presentation at the exact same time. I have been doing so many presentations, it's not funny, but not on the topic that we were talking about before. This is in one of my other many, many facets.
Hey, the
So-
more presentation you make, guess what? View it as practice, training.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, but the funny thing is, this presenter is the one that I was mentioning to you before, and she actually sent me. It's flattering, but it's not. She actually sent me a camera to put on top of my computer so that it was more formal.
There you go. There you go.
So-
Always remember, you either learn or you earn. Both ways, you win. There's no mistakes and no time waste of time. Well, within reason, you know. So, any other questions? Sandra, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay. Rosemary? Eleonora? Angela? Okay, is Lorna here? No. Okay, no problem. All right, guys. If you have no more questions, let's call it tonight a day. And I see you guys tomorrow, same time for day 3. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing basically crafting your offer. So be here. It's gonna be very powerful. And I will message you directly, Sandra, on Messenger to send you to connect on WhatsApp. Okay.
Okay.
Have a fantabulous rest of the evening, guys, and see you tomorrow. And I'll see you, Eleonora, in a couple of hours. Take
Good
care.
night, good morning, good day.
You
Take care.
too.
Bye bye. Ciao.
Have a great one, guys.
Bye.